Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and the sun is out. It is a beautiful day, so let's pop these tops off and go for a ride. And I love taking the top off and riding around. I mean, it's just how it's supposed to be. But however, when the top is off and the sun, especially in the summer, late summer, man, it can get really toasty really fast. Plus, you got to squint, different things. You leave it out, I mean, it just cooks the interior and whatnot. And a few months ago, I did a video that was me taking the top off for the first time, going topless with it, and somebody said, yeah, cool, you know, I love your vehicle and whatnot. And he says, but you're gonna have to get a shade, and because it'll be necessary in the summertime. And he was right. It is necessary, I feel like. So anyway, I've been doing some research and decided that the J-tops shade was the one that I wanted to go with, and they have one specifically for the Raptor. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and remove the rear and go completely topless. We're gonna lay this thing out on the ground and we're gonna install it real quick. Just wanna break these loose. Ready to remove. All right, all the bolts are out. We're gonna get this off. And what I was talking about earlier is with this J-top, it's actually made for the, I think it ends back here with this extra crossbar that is on the Raptor. And maybe also for the one that's between the front row and the second row. Not 100% sure, but anyway, it is specifically for the Raptor, and we'll find out what it's all about, what it looks like here in just a second. But first, I'm gonna take this off, and again, doing it by myself. And so far, so good. I've taken it off about 4 times now. Do it typically by myself. Sometimes I do get a little help to put it back in place, just because of the blind nature of the little tips that seat in here. All right, here we go. Fully naked top, 100% topless here. Let's get this J-top and see what it's all about. Okay, your J-top is going to come in a nice long box. They roll it from the back to the front or back to front. That way you don't put any creases along the center of it or anything. I do see some 3M adhesive tape here. So right now would be probably a good time to take some microfiber cloth and clean some of the dusty spots that have accumulated along the top. But let's get it out, get it over here in the sun for a second, see if we can kind of make some, see, I don't know if there's any instructions in here or not. Little adhesion promoter. A little horseshoe for the Bronco. Nice touch. Anyway, I'm gonna go entertain myself with this video real quick, just to make sure that there's just something that I need to be aware of. We're gonna clean the dust off of the channels, and just kind of wipe that down a little bit. It looks kind of bad anyway. And put this adhesion promoter, I'm sure, would work a whole lot better if it's on clean metal. We'll be back here in just a second. We'll get this installed. All right, we have dry wiped the area to start with. And now what we're going to do is we'll use the isopropyl wipes to get any remaining residue, dust, dirt, grime, any of that stuff off of our metal. Let me just show you real quick. So what we're going to be doing is installing Velcro, and your Velcro is already attached to your top. And what I plan to do is just remove the Velcro, because we're going to be installing this side here to the painted area. And we're going to be going from right at this weld here, along here, to about, oh, sorry, lost you there, to about right here. So between the welds. Now, what I have to do differently than on a regular Bronco is remove my B-pillar crossbar. And so we're going to take this off, set it aside, and once we get the Velcro installed today, we really need to wait about 24 hours before we proceed, just so it can fully cure. But look, I'm assuming these are like little magnets. And then this will of course lay up there, and then it holds down with the buckles and the Velcro. Yeah, super exciting. All right, so let's get our alcohol wipes. Wipe this down real quick. Use the adhesion promoter. Special note that they said when you're installing your Velcro, you want to wait, or do not exceed like 2 minutes from the time the isopropyl, from the time that the adhesion promoter gets wiped on there. So it gets really tacky, and we want to install that just as quick as possible once we do that step. So real quick, let's wipe it down, hit it with some adhesion promoter, and get that Velcro installed. Oh, but before we forget, we need to take that crossbar off. And it'll be the same tool from the toolkit that you use to take your top off. All right, it's gonna be the 3 bolts, the bigger ones here, and then that's loose, and then we'll go and get the other 3 side, get this removed. To make this go a little bit quicker, I am going to go ahead and pull the Velcro off of the top, just so I have it ready to go. I'm going to use my adhesion promoter real quick, and then we can just go as quick as possible, because again, we're running up against a 2-minute time limit or so before it gets really too tacky for it to work. Adhesion promoter. I want to be careful of what you touch with this. Alright, here goes. Kind of tricky to get started, but just allow yourself just enough. That way you can minimize your lift and stick as you run down through here. All right, and then at this point, we're supposed to use the flat end of a screwdriver, but I'm kind of a moron, so to say, so I'm gonna use just this little extension, which is nice and round and hard, and we're gonna try to get the bubbles out of this. And it won't damage the hook and loop. All right, pretty good. Gonna do the other side. No sense in videoing that. That's just redundant. But anyway, I guess we'll show you what that looks like though after I get done, and we'll put this in for safekeeping, and then tomorrow night we'll get it installed, and this will be fully cured by that point. Anyway, all right, I did pretty good, except at the very back it gets kind of like that contour starts to curve a little. It's got to be really nice and slow and go in little bits, because you can correct it as you go, but kind of got some a little bit more gaps toward the back, and it's just because of the curve. Hook and loop has been installed. At this point, it is imperative that you wait your 24 hours for that to properly seal itself to the whatever you call it, adhere to the metal, so to say. Here we are on this side. Also, I'm doing this at the late in the day, so everything's really cool to the touch. We're not in direct sunlight or anything like that. The other critical thing here is, besides waiting 24 hours, you want to make sure that you do not leave it in direct sunlight and get it extremely hot, or any of those things while you're waiting for it to cure. That could make a mess in a hurry. So anyway, at this point, we'll wait. Tomorrow we'll put the top on. We'll go through that. But I'm really excited. It is an extremely well made apparatus. It's got some little magnets in it, the buckles, everything else. And then once we get that mesh installed, we'll be putting the B bar back in. Anyway, we'll be back with you as soon as that. 24 hours later. See you tomorrow. All right, now we've allowed for the 24 hours of cure time for the hook and loop, and so now it's time to get this installed. We're gonna be using these earth magnets to just help keep it in place as we get it up. We'll get this thing installed, and then we'll go out for a ride and just see how much wind flap it has, if any, and how much shade it offers. Right here where the B pillar bar goes across, you really want to make sure that your 3 holes are aligned, and try to get that straight from there while still maintaining good pressure along that seal at the front. I'm gonna let this get in place, let it sort of stretch out on its own, and I'm not gonna pull on it really anymore, but so you have a little strap that connects right here, and you use your magnets along in here to just help keep it in place before you start putting your Velcro down. I've got a little spot back here that needs to kind of shift, probably from about this point back over that way a little bit, because it's not laying down just real good over the satellite radio. Extremely well made. It is extremely tight, and they said you will do some adjustment after it's been on for a little bit. But what we need to do is put this B pillar brace back on, and this could be a little bit more, you're gonna have to kind of move the little webbing around just to make sure that the holes line up back here. So get you a look at that. This will stay in place whenever the top goes back on, but you're gonna unhook here, obviously, because that's gonna be occupied, and just fold it back. One little pleat there, and that should be enough to allow you to put your tops back on. Probably gonna be looking at obviously undoing these zippers as well. It's pretty awesome. All right, let's get everything buttoned down. Go for a little test drive and just see what kind of noise this thing makes. The brace is installed again. As we discussed earlier, I just a slight bit of misalignment with the holes because they are just bolt width, which is not really an issue. You just want to be very, very close when you first start. You may have to pull back here, kind of pull just ever so slightly to line the holes back up once the plate is here. And then it just gets your bolt started, and then it goes on pretty easy. Had a little bit more of a hard time with the second one that I did, but that's understandable because then there's pressure already on this side, so there's less give and take with it. You want to be mindful back here. You can have some gapping issues, but I will probably readjust this several times before I call it good and put the top back on. But let's go for a ride. Really like to put the back on and do a pretty good test of what it would be like wind noise wise with just the two front panels off and the middle panel, which like the windows up potentially. So you're gonna have to disregard this seat belt back behind me on either side because there's no place for those to store, and when you're going down the road they make all kinds of racket. That's kind of crazy. I can tell a difference just looking at the sun through there. What I was looking for was obviously something to cut down on the amount of sun exposure, be able to filter some of that light out, keep it from getting so hot in here. What I did not want was something that was cheap and made all kinds of noise from the wind whipping around and whatnot. So all right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a little highway test. I am gonna just roll the windows up just so you don't have to listen to so much wind noise. It's a little bit of a whistle, but not too terribly bad. Like I said, the trade-off, it's a good trade-off. Less bad the window's down right now. It's gonna push actually less noise through here, but that seat belt's gonna really be more annoying than the top ever would. Very happy with it. J-top. This is specifically for the Bronco Raptor, but they have a Bimini top for any of your Bronco 6th gen applications, and soft top or hard top, either one. Pros: it's rather quiet. Does what it's supposed to do, filter out the light, and allows you to put your top back on without having to remove the Bimini top. This one was about $380 or so. I think shipping might have been free, but I can't remember exactly. But anyway, J-tops, and they have a very good website with good directions and whatnot. Just get on jtops.com and check them out. I'm Jeff. This is Will to Live Outdoors, and we are going to sign off for now. If you got anything out of this video, please consider subscribing, giving us a like, leaving us a comment, and we would love to have you as a subscriber. See you later.